Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru.
Otherwise, you wouldn't believe in this equality. How many of you would say, go up to women and say, "You're the dirt on my shoe," and yet it's written in the Hindu scriptures.
Well, that's actually written there.
Yeah, the woman is like a slipper.
No, it's not.
What do you mean? The laws of Manu. The laws of Manu. Manu Smriti. I'm not joking. You go and read it. Google it, please.
I've studied Hinduism in depth. That's not.
Okay. Well, the woman is commonly referred to as a slipper. Chappal.
You have women that write Hindu scriptures.
Very rarely. What about the people that woman wasn't even allowed to study the scriptures? I mean, I think first, sorry, just to give a view on what is Hinduism. It's hard to classify Hinduism as a religion.
It's
more of a culture.
It's a pathway.
Well, you can say it's a path.
It's the same as Sikhism. It's not a religion.
It's not a path. It's not a way of life. It's a cultural tradition. It has certain texts that people can follow. Some people reject those texts completely, and yet they still see themselves as Hindu. If you were a Gauri sadhu, your way of life would be miles apart from some kind of Vedantic guy. Your path from, say, a Hanuman worshipper or Hanuman Pujari or a Devi Pujari compared to a Gauri sadhu who lives in the graveyard or in the cremation grounds and eats human brains, and drinks alcohol. That way of life is very different from somebody. So whereas Sikhi, you can say it's like a religion because it has a certain way of being. It's a certain. Sikhs have like Guru Granth Sahib Ji, they have the aim of Amrit, or they have some kind of thing, the Gurdwara is like this. You can't have that in Hinduism. There's no such thing that this is what a Hindu place of worship should be like. You see what I mean? So that's why for me, I mean, you might say, but I've studied it quite a bit, and this is after 13 years of like looking at this. I would say that for me, Hinduism is more of a cultural tradition with certain texts that are given high regard, and certain people who follow those texts, other people who don't hold those texts in high regards and follow something else totally different. But they still call themselves Hindu. It's hard to classify it. It's hard to classify what is a Hindu. Yeah? Sorry, go on.
Are not Sikhs taught to like follow some of the Vedas?
No.
That's what
No. What Guru Sahib says is in the Vedas, the highest thing there is Naam. Veda mein Naam Uttam hai. Then they say, but they don't listen to it. So suna nahi. That's in Anand Sahib that we read. They say that the concept of Naam is the highest thing there is, but they've forgotten about it. So for me, Sikhi is the original truth that was down from the very beginning, and it's been just put into in the most concise, straight to follow form. It's not like it's just the truth. You can't say, oh well, the Vedas have got no truth inside them. Like I said, it's like maths. The Vedas have got maths inside them, but the clearest form of maths is being put in front of us. So we don't reject Hinduism, but in this world of Kaljug, because you don't know if you know about the 4 Jugs, yeah? In this world of Kaljug, the highest thing that we can do is sing God's praises. So in that way, the Christians are doing, when they're singing the highest thing possible. See what I mean? Kirtan. Kaljug mein Kirtan Pradhana. The highest thing in Kaljug is Kirtan. Yeah? For those people that reject singing, what are they doing then? They're rejecting the highest way of experiencing the one in this culture. It's hard to, you might say, oh, this thing is really controversial. I'm actually very open-minded. It's just that I've studied this thing and I realised that a Gauri sadhu and those people, they don't. It's like saying a Christian and a Muslim. They're as different from each other as a Christian and a Muslim. So what is it then? If it's got different religions within the same religion, it's not a religion. What is it then? Hard to classify, isn't it? It's not even a way of life. Because the way of that guy's life is very different from that guy's way of life. One guy is hoping for Hanumanji to bless him, other guy is trying to, transcend duality by going into alcohol and drugs and shamanism. How is it a way of life? That is the same way of life. It's not the same way of life. Do you see what I'm trying to say? I'm not cussing Hinduism in any way. I'm saying the Vedas are there, some people learn from them, there's other things that are there, and some people learn from them. It's not a religion in that sense. We have Guru Granth Sahib Ji. If a Sikh wants to be a Sikh, the Sikh knows, I'll start with Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And what's in there is what I should follow. How can what will a Hindu say?
Well, we have basic philosophies, which ultimately
Where are these written down, those basic philosophies?
They're the things that aren't written down. They're the things that are passed on.
But okay, so it's passed on from whom to whom? Are they taught to every Hindu?
Centuries ago,
If you're born as a Hindu, are you taught certain things? Well, if you were born into like a Kabirji's ashram, would you be taught the same certain things that a child who's a Gaudi sadhu's child, or somebody who's a Devi worshipper? Would you be taught the same certain things?
No,
No. Well then, but a Sikh would be taught the Mool Mantra, and a Christian would be taught this is what Christianity generally is: believe in Christ as the door of salvation. Yeah, and a Muslim would be taught the Quran. That's why it's not really a religion per se. I don't really believe in religion per se anyway. What I'm saying is, it's not really. It can't be classified as a religion.
It isn't a religion.
Well, but it's not a way of life either.
But all it is ultimately setting out a moral lifestyle. For
Yeah,
you.
but in which way? Like which
Like
moral
saying-
lifestyle? Which moral lifestyle?
Dharma,
Does it say that you can eat
actions
human?
and
Okay.
bad deeds.
I'll take that point just one more time. We'll finish off. Does the moral way of life of Hinduism say you can't eat humans? You can't eat human remains. Does it say that?
But you can't eat meat. You can't eat
Okay.
living.
But what about the others? What Gaudi sadhus do eat meat?
But they're
What are they? Are they not Hindus
if
then?
you're a Hindu,
But are they not Hindus? Are the Gaudi sadhus not Hindus?
No.
But they are worshipped.
But
If you go to
ultimately,
Kumbh
if you
Mela,
don't follow
the
those
Gaudis
basic
are
principles,
respected.
you
They
can't
are
call
respected
yourself
forms of Hindus.
But you can't call
You
yourself
can't-
Hindu if you don't follow
You
them.
can't say that. You
But
can't
you
say.
can't.
But
Because
people,
ultimately
they are
you believe in
Hindus.
non-violence
They
and
are.
ahimsa. If you believe that God is
It's
in
hard.
every being,
So what about the Naga sadhus?
That poor little lamb to
What about the guys that walk around with the shoes? Are they not Hindus? What about the Shiv Sena? They have a training camp. They go to training camps and learn how to use dharms and stuff. Are they not Hindus?
But you're not killing.
Yeah, but ahimsa is not a fundamental part of Hinduism. That means that every single person in India, whoever took part in any violence, ceased to be a Hindu. Is that what you're saying? That all the Indian army is not Hindus? Anybody in the Indian army is
No,
not
I'm not
Hindu?
saying that. But what I'm saying is
But
you
no,
don't-
but that's what I'm trying to say. You have to be very clear. It's not a way of life that can be classified, and it's not a religion that can have certain doctrines. What it is what I tried to explain to you earlier, which might not appeal to you because it's like it sounds jarring to the ear, but it's a cultural tradition, and it has certain texts that would belong to that tradition, but you can be away from those texts and still be part of that tradition. And I don't want to talk about it anymore. You can find out. You can see what I'm trying to say. I'm not against Hindus. I'm just saying that is what it is from my point of view. Thank you.
I think like it's similar to Sikhism in that you want liberation, and the ways of doing that is that, like you believe one,
Then it becomes
they
Hinduism.
believe that the Brahman is the soul and it's around.
True, but then there's the same as what's the difference between Buddhism and Hinduism?
Buddhists don't believe in God.
Well, then some Hindus don't believe in God.
I know, so I'm saying it's a way of
What
life.
do you do then? Because there's a whole form of it. Of the 6 ways. Of the 6 ways, you know the 6 ways, yeah? Of the 6 ways, one of them is called, I should know this because I did the katha on it. But it's Sankhya. Sankhya philosophy does not believe in God. It's an atheistic form of Hinduism. Do you get what I'm trying to say now? You've got a form of Hinduism of the 6 ways that does not believe in God. It says it's Samkhya, that there is a Prakriti and a Purush. Yeah? It doesn't believe that the Purush is God. It doesn't believe that anybody made the world. It believes that the Prakriti has always been around and the Purush has always been around. See what I'm trying to say? So it's hard to classify. So then what is the difference between Hinduism and Buddhism then? And then what's the difference between Jainism and Hinduism then? If you start to amalgamate and say everything is all Hinduism, then it ceases to have any meaning. Because then everybody's a Hindu. Then they're just human beings. It's a cultural tradition.
Yes,
So then you've got to be very clear. Either you have lines that define your religion, or you don't. Therefore, it's no longer a religion. And it's not a way of life. Because then what is it? Because that's why the Indian constitution then said that anybody who's a Sikh, anybody who's a Buddhist, anybody who's Jain is also a Hindu. Then you might say they're all Indians. So everybody in India is a Hindu then, because they're just Indians. Then it becomes the culture of India. You see what I'm trying to say? It's hard to classify Hinduism.
No, I know
Anyway,
what you're
this
trying to
topic was
say.
not about Hinduism. Anyway, we'll talk about Sikhism and atheism. What I'm trying to say is, you can't have your cake and eat it. You can't. You can't say it's a religion and then yet it doesn't conform to any norms of religion. You can't say it's a way of life and it doesn't conform to any classified way of life. Sikhi could be a way of life because Sikhi gives very normal rules about the path of the saints, and this is the path of the saints. The 36 people in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, all their writings are very consistent with the path of the saints. Yeah? That's why I say it's a way of life which involves spirituality and morality. And that's Sikhism. But you can't say that about Hinduism. Because some people don't believe in living in the world that are Hindus, and some people do. But Sikhism says, no, you have to live in the world. You can't just disappear up into the mountains and meditate. Yeah? So it's not the same way of life. Different ways of life means different ways of life.